Ladies and gentlemen, this is the JHebert podcast production.
Yes!
We talk about the good.
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary.
Wrestling runs in cycles. You see they have down periods, and then they have something they call the boom periods.
The bad.
In a couple of years, we're going to be the top guys. And you won't have to worry about some of these dumb ideas that they come up with, and I was wrong.
And the ugly.
I haven't flipped out this bad since my mom canceled my subscription to Warcraft.
Then where, oh where are my WWE ice cream bars?
Shut the hell up!
Do you know who I am? I'm Bully Ray. I'm destined for greatness.
This is where the big boys play, huh?
You were either in or you were either out, brother. You either believed or you didn't, man. And you were either ready or you weren't.
Past the pavement. We be wildin' on the corner freestyling. It's a cycle and realize it's all real. Nod your head on the regular. Underground past the pavement. We be wildin' on the corner
right now, recording this, it is right now 2:19. Welcome to another edition of the JHebert Side of Things. I am your host, JHebert. I don't even know where to begin. I was going to save this for later, but I realize I have to talk about it now throughout everything that's been going on in the wrestling business. A lot of it more negative than it's been positive. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I already made the last time I mentioned anything negative about the pro wrestling business in the whole was the fact that TNA is pretty much dead at this point. But now I have to talk about TNA again, even though I thought I was going to be done talking about it. Apparently, there's some more news as it relates to TNA, and none of it good. Bottom line, they have not signed a new deal with Spike TV yet, and you know, you can have Panda Energy, you can have everything that you want. You can have your dad pour money into the company. You can have all that shit. But when you don't have a TV deal, you lose. You are done. You cash in your chips. You take your ball. You go home. Look at what happened with Eric Bischoff in WCW. He was trying so hard to renew a contract with AOL Time Warner when they got a hold of TNT. And it was just never meant to be, because they thought that wrestling was just a shame of their product. But I guarantee you, in reality, if Monday Night Raw was on TNT and USA was on Nitro, this would be a whole different story. AOL Time Warner would have kept WWF, because the bottom line is, if it's a draw, they're going to keep it. If it creates cash, they're going to keep it. And WCW at that point was not creating cash. And it's the same thing with TNA right now. You know, yeah, Spike TV, it could be having its shitty networks or whatever and have like numerous reruns of Cops or whatever. But the bottom line is, if they're not doing anything to help that, then they don't deserve to be on the show. I feel like reruns of Bar Rescue would suit better for Spike TV than having frickin' Impact on every night. Like, and honestly, anybody who actually cares about the future of wrestling, NXT is where it's at right now. And everybody with the WWE Network, which I will get to in a minute, because that's also some of it is negative with that. But anybody who's watching the future, it would be with NXT. It's not with TNA. It never will be with TNA. TNA's dead. TNA's been dead. TNA's been dead since AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett left the company. And now Jarrett's supposed to be starting this, I guess Jeff Jarrett is supposed to be starting this company with Toby Keith called GFW, Global Force Wrestling. And their plans are, as soon as TNA is no longer going to have a TV deal, that they're going to have no choice to sign, and they're going to have to go with Global Force Wrestling, and that's probably what it's going to be called from that point on. And all the TNA talent that is good will be signed to a deal there. So I'm assuming guys like Samoa Joe and they're gonna look at guys like Samoa Joe and Austin Aries, and hell, even maybe Christian York from the TNA Gut Check stuff. Sam Shaw, I honestly personally thought had really good talent, and then he had that stupid stalker gimmick on him. Not one of the finest points of his career. But they're probably going to be looking for talent like that. I mean, if anything, they'll probably make, if they're smart, they'll probably get some people from Ring of Honor too. Maybe they'll get AJ Styles after his deal is up, and then they'll get they'll get guys like Chris Hero and all them. Although I doubt that will happen at this point. But maybe with Jeff Jarrett and Toby Keith, maybe it would actually happen. And I actually have a lot of faith in Toby Keith and Jarrett. If it's both of them running a company, it's going to be good. But I just can't buy into the fact that now, we're supposed to just be happy with the wrestling business, because there are other stuff that's going on too. Some of the other stuff is just as simple as this. I mean, WWE, yes, it's doing great, but it's not doing its best. And the reason why I say that is because they also have their problems. Daniel Bryan suffered a neck injury. I mean, also at this point in the game, I mean, TNA, I'm sorry, not TNA, WWE has had problems with bringing in new talent from NXT. Let's just call it like it is. They have picked some shitty guys to come up to the main roster. Adam Rose, Bo Dallas. I mean, it's without question that this chick, and even Paige, and I'm not blaming Paige specifically. So Paige has some talent. Not really her fault, but I think she should have been developed for a few more years. There was no way she was ready at this main stage, in my opinion. But they picked some really shitty guys to call up to the main roster when they could have had Sami Zayn and Cassius Ohno when he was there. And they just dropped the ball on that and decided to go with Adam Rose and Bo Dallas. And I don't understand why that is. I mean, look at Adrian Neville. Adrian Neville would have been a perfect person to go up there. And then, on top of that, they have Dolph Ziggler and Damian Sandow basically trying to squeeze themselves in on television, basically looking desperate to shit. And all of this has led down to a decrease of $750 million. Vince McMahon went from a billionaire to a millionaire, literally one night, to the point where he had to do a budget cut and cut superstars and referees and managers off, likes of Mark Harris, Theodore Lawn, and when we're talking about wrestlers, I mean, they had to get rid of 2/3 of 3MB, hence the way they say the day the music died. They also got rid of JTG, former member of Crime Time. They got rid of a couple others that I can't really remember off the top of my head. I know Evan Bourne was one of them, and Yoshitatsu. And the sad part is that WWE could have used these guys that they released. And to me, it's a crying shame that McIntyre, out of all those guys, got released. This guy had all the potential in the world to be their biggest star as a heel. There was no questioning the dollar signs on this kid. This kid was going to be the next Triple H, if not better than Triple H. This guy had the tools to be that next big heel, and they dropped the fucking ball with him so bad. And I don't know why. I think it was over some stupid-ass issue with Tiffany, who was Taryn Terrell over in TNA. She was at the WWE at the time as Tiffany. She had, I guess she went nuts on him. From what I understand, I guess she was the cause of it, but they blamed it on him instead. I don't even know how the fuck that worked. But the guy had so much potential. The guy could high fly. The guy could do brawling moves. The guy didn't do much flashy, but anytime he did, it would shock the living hell out of you. And the reason why he did it was out of like desperation or something like that. He was a fantastic heel Intercontinental Champion, and I thought he was on his way to being the next World Heavyweight Champion, which would have gained that belt some credibility. But they dropped the ball, and I can't even tell you how many times they dropped the ball with this guy. It's sad. And they could have used him instead of in a capacity of 3MB. What they really should have done is got rid of Jinder My Balls and freaking Heath Slater, who have nothing to offer to the WWE. And they should have went back to the Chosen One gimmick, put that back on him, and just let him run with it. Have him in a feud with Bad News Barrett, and actually have Bad News Barrett as a face. I honestly think that would have been interesting television. And this is just wrestling psychology 101. Dolph Ziggler should be in the Money in the Bank, not fucking Del Rio. Del Rio should have been in another one of these people that get released. And I don't care what anybody says. You could say he's a former WWE champion, whatever. The bottom line is the WWE fucked up with him. They dropped the ball on him too. I'll even admit that. But if they don't have anything to do with him, and they're not going to let him have the cars and the ring announcer, and all they're going to have him is with Mexican flags all over the place, then get him off the fucking roster and replace him with Dolph Ziggler. I'd rather see Ziggler in the Money in the Bank than fucking Del Rio. And that's the bottom line truth. I don't want to see Ziggler at this fucking stage of the game looking like a fucking dumbass. And just him trying to squirm his way on TV. And then Damian fucking Sandow. Okay, if nobody saw it, with him and Fandango, I turned off the TV. I turned the fucking TV off. I was done. As soon as I saw this fucking bullshit with Damian, I said it was a crying shame what they're doing with really good talent. The guy has talent. Ziggler has talent. Okay? McIntyre had talent. You shouldn't have gotten rid of him. Tyson Kidd, who shouldn't even be in the developmental territory of NXT. Shouldn't even be there. Should already be in the main roster. Shouldn't have even been brought down. Okay, and granted, yeah, he's had some of his best years in NXT at this point. And I'm not going to deny that. His matches with Adrian Neville, off the fucking chart. But this guy needs a fucking break. I was pulling for him to win on NXT this week, and I guess he didn't win. And I was pissed. And I didn't even look at the spoilers. It was probably taped like a week ago. And it was just... It was bad. It was just bad. He should be on the main roster. But yet they bring in guys like Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Big E Langston, okay? And I even mentioned Big E's name. Don't even tell me that he deserved to be on the roster with the certain set of skills he has. He's not that good, okay? He's not anything to marvel at. We've seen this with Ezekiel Jackson. We've seen this with guys. And look at him now. He's going to the bottom of the totem pole. And yet you had these guys like The Miz on there. Well, let's talk about The Miz. The Miz is a very good heel. Brutal heel at that. I'll give him that. But sucks as a technical worker. People saw right through that BS, and they stopped caring about him when he turned face. Release the fucking guy. Release him. Put Bo Dallas back in NXT, give him a different gimmick. Same thing with Adam Rose. Miz just needs to go. He's had his time to shine. He got the WWE title. He needs to go. Same thing with Del Rio. He needs to go. Ziggler needs to be pushed. Damian needs to be pushed. Tyson Kidd needs to be brought up to the main roster. He needs to be pushed. And if McIntyre was still on the main roster, you would push him on there too. And I guarantee you would have had a more legitimate product. But see... And then let's talk about the fact that they push midgets Again, over 90% of the roster. They've wasted 3 pre-shows on something comedy-like. Why? What was the point of that? Meanwhile, we could have had matches that actually would have meant something. Like, I don't know, the long overdue tag team titles match with the Usos and the Wyatt family. Just saying. You know, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. And then you have these guys take up their TV time. And then let's talk about the guys that are old to shit that shouldn't even be on the main roster as athletes. Mark Henry, Big Show, Rey Mysterio. I mean, let's face it, his time's come and gone. Who else? I mean, I can't even recall half the guys that are taking up spots. But the bottom line is, I know those 3 don't need to take up the spot. Rey needs to just go. I'm sorry. And I'm a huge fan of Rey, but I think he's ruining his legacy just trying to come back. I think he should just be a trainer at this point. I wish he could have left on a higher note, but, you know, with Sin Cara, but that was never meant to be because Sin Cara at that time was awful in the ring. And you need to bring up the actual guys that actually give a shit on putting on a good match in NXT. Sami Zayn's one of them. Adrian Neville's another. Like, these guys deserve to be on the main roster. And it's a crying shame that they're not, because they put on 5-star matches in the Full Sail University Arena. Literally probably in front of 700 or 800 people. And you're telling me that they can't put on a great match over in the WWE main roster. Like, I didn't think Tyler Breeze would get over in a gimmick. But Tyler Breeze, after what I've seen with him and Sammy, should be one of the guys that should be brought up there. There isn't even any denying it at this point. Those 4 guys should be in the main roster right now. That doesn't even come close. Mark Henry's time is gone. Big Show's time is gone. And I hate to say it, but Mysterio's time is gone also. And maybe if that was done like a while ago, maybe you wouldn't be having your financial issues. I'm just saying. Now, granted, it's not as bad as TNA, but it's pretty damn bad for WWE standards to lose $750 million in revenue to just try and get your shows to stay on Sci-Fi and the USA Network and E! And let's talk home again. Let's talk some serious shit about Total Divas. And I better not get sexist comments for saying this. All I'm saying is, you can look like the prettiest girl in the world, but if you don't wrestle and you don't cut the image on a good wrestling ability, you don't deserve to be there. That's the fact. Okay? Guys like Charlotte deserve to be on the main roster. Guys like Brie Bella, she has improved. Should have stayed on the main roster. I don't even know if she probably still is, but she should have stayed on the main roster. AJ Lee deserves to be on the main roster. Alicia Fox deserves to be pushed more and stay on the main roster. Charlotte should be on the main roster right now, and she produced a hard-fought match with Natalya on NXT, which right now is one of the most talked about Divas matches, and it literally happened 2 weeks ago. Maybe 3. All I know is that match was great. It was the female version of Bret Hart versus Ric Flair. Except better. And a lot of people have said that. I'm not the only one. They should be brought up to the main roster. Natalya shouldn't have even been brought into the developmental just to freaking... I don't even know what she's doing. Even though it was a really good match. But it is a crying shame. Okay, you're pushing Cesaro. You're pushing Daniel Bryan. You're pushing the Shield. You turned Rollins heel. Okay, that's all well and good and everything. But you were wasting TV time with guys like Rusev. By the way, Rusev is Ivan Drago from Rocky Balboa 4. That's all he is. He's nothing else but that. He should be brought back into the developmental territory to build on him a little bit. If you really want a replacement, I would say probably somebody along the likes of you know what? I'd probably get rid of both Alexander Rusev and Sheamus. Release Sheamus. He's already had his glory. He's already had his 15 minutes of fame. I'd put Rusev back in the developmental, and I bring in the Ascension for the tag team division. That's what I'd do. As far as somebody black who deserves a shot at the WWE title, I don't know. Kofi fucking Kingston, who's long overdue for a title shot at this point. I don't even know if he's going to be on Money in the Bank. I doubt it. But I mean, WWE is also pushing right people, so I can't really complain too much. But there are also a lot of decisions that have cost them $50 million, and those are just numerous examples of that. And I could really go on and on about it. You know, you need to make it more of the sport aspect of sports entertainment. That's what you need to focus on. You don't need to focus on the entertainment aspect. The entertainment aspect, I'm sorry, but at this point, it's killing the wrestling business. You need to focus on the sport aspect. That's just it. That's it. There's no denying that fact at this point. I mean, again, though, WWE is doing far better than TNA, without question. Even though WWE has lost CM Punk as well in a same sense, I think CM Punk's going to return eventually. I know I made a podcast about how CM Punk kind of left the fans high and dry on Installment 3, but this installment, I'm saying he probably will come back. It seems like he's taking a Stone Cold Steve Austin route from 2002, so don't expect him not to show back up, but also don't be surprised if he doesn't, because I still think he's in it for himself. But then again, he could just be going through a lot, and he didn't think the booking was right. He's probably thinking of the business aspect, just like Stone Cold did in 2002 when they tried to make him and Lesnar a qualifying match for the freaking King of the Ring. Not have a 3-week or 4-week build up to the pay-per-view, which I thought was stupid in my opinion. But when it comes to TNA, I mean, I'd rather WWE than TNA right now. TNA, this is the year it dies. They have till October on their new deal, or on their deal, and if they don't re-sign with a new deal by this year, Bound for Glory will most likely be their final pay-per-view. If we even get that last pay-per-view. This is it. I said it before, I'll say it again. TNA is dead. And it's only going to be in it till this year, until it's official. And I am sad, because now a lot of people that are actually good in that company are going to wind up without a job. I'm surprised they were able to survive this long. Now I'm hearing that numerous athletes that were in there were literally surviving on food stamps. I don't know what to think about the wrestling business. It's good for WWE side. It's not great, though, on WWE side. TNA is just freaking awful at this point. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Ring of Honor's back on top again in my book, and I haven't even watched the show. I'm hoping I can get a couple episodes in eventually, but Ring of Honor's where it's at right now. They have the best talent right now. They have Roderick Strong, AJ Styles, Chris Hero. They just have a lot of talent there, and they're probably going to keep expanding. And if that doesn't take over once GFW gets up and running next year, it will probably be hugely more popular than TNA ever was, and Ring of Honor most likely too. That's all I really have to say. I wish I could have done this a lot sooner, but I've just been so busy. I have numerous others taped in the can that I still have yet to release, but I had to get this out there, otherwise it was going to bug me all night. So, till then, this has been JHebert Side of Things, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm in between with the wrestling business right now. That's what I gotta say. I mean, besides WWE, it's good. It's good, and I'll give it that, but it's not great. Especially if you lose $750 million and go from, in Vince's case, a millionaire or a billionaire to a millionaire in literally one night. So, Wall Street is not happy. Till then, this is JHebert. See you guys.